where they spoke of, removing 57 trees, am I correct in that number?
Yes,
And,
putting in a bike lane
to put in a bike lane.
Where?
along Ocean Avenue, from Lincoln Road to Parkside and then around Parkside. They also closing that entrance.
There is one already. No, it's not.
Not a
It's-
dedicated one.
It's not, no, it's parking along Ocean.
It's
They
not,
wanna
it's
make
not
it
dedicated.
separate.
They want a
Right,
dedicated
right,
one.
right,
They wanna
right.
put a,
Yeah, they wanna do a protected. I can
But there
see
is
that.
a regular bike lane there, correct? Or no?
I don't believe so.
No.
What are we
It's
speaking to?
inside.
This is for what?
Ocean,
Ocean.
along
Avenue?
the park.
it's starting
From what I
Ocean
understand,
Avenue
from what I
Empire.
understand, yeah, what's gonna happen is, from what I've heard, they're going to come, the bike lane right now, there's one that currently comes down Flatbush Avenue.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
What they're going to do is, they're gonna have it come around that corner on Ocean Avenue, and it's supposed to be not on the street, it's gonna be a raised one on the sidewalk.
Sounds like a terrible idea.
Oh, taking out the row of trees
Right.
there.
So
Yeah,
from what I'm understanding,
57 mature trees.
so
It's a
from what I'm
terrible
understanding.
idea.
I know, but
It's not
it,
so.
it's,
And Prospect Park was suggesting this?
yes, your Park Alliance.
That's
So,
very
were they
I've
thinking
heard
of
suggestions.
So it extends the bikeway on the sidewalk, and they're gonna change I think what they were supposed to do is, they're going to take a couple of feet off of the lanes. They're gonna keep the parking lanes, but I think each lane shrinks by like a foot or two. So
Okay.
they get a foot or two off of that, plus a little bit of space
13,
off of the
yeah.
sidewalk
Yes,
to get the dedicated bikeway on the sidewalk.
on both.
And then it goes
both
down, and then
Both sides.
separately, what's gonna happen is when it gets to Parkside Avenue, I think there's gonna be some stuff over there as well, because they have the Shirley Chisholm,
Yeah.
pavilion
Yeah.
that's gonna be down.
Oh, so that's the
This was-
concern,
this
I'm
was
sorry,
actually
excuse me, so that's a concern, because we were talking about the footage, where they spoke of 10 feet, and then, what was brought up by Karen Fleming, that we need to keep it at 13, because the trucks cannot fit through 10 feet.
Yeah,
I literally just had an incident the other day driving through in which a bus was stopped because of the traffic and the bus was refusing to move because the lanes were too tight.
So
yeah,
I
well,
just-
this is gonna get tight.
So I believe it's somewhere in DOT that, they can't shrink it.
But they're doing it anyway.
Okay, I believe there's something in DOT where they speak of, the trees, the removal of the trees, that they cannot do that as well. I believe I saw something, I have to,
Can someone clarify this again?
I
So
believe it's on DOT.
It's gonna be on
So,
the other
there are
side.
things that are going on.
It's gonna be where the park is at, on the park.
Okay, so,
Sorry.
so things were presented that, we need to revisit, get some clarity, understanding, to see what can be done and what cannot be done.
Well, they,
But one thing I do know is that the community does not want the bike lane on, in Brooklyn and Kingston, and as far as Lincoln Road, they do not want those changes to be placed, and they both asked the Jewish community and also the Lincoln Road community who suggested these changes.
And we also don't want the bike lane on Fenimore,
Right, Fenimore, I'm sorry.
which we had already taken out, but that wasn't not clear if that was reflected to DOT.
there was a concern about the survey that, has gone out, and I believe the committee has suggested that the survey not be completed and that it go back to the committee for review because it had not been vetted by the committee. I think that we need to be setting some standards for our chairs to let them know that they are not allowed to produce documents that have not been vetted by the committee and then presented to the community as something that comes from CB9.
That's a good point.
That is, you cannot do that.
Were there any action items, were there any votes taken by the transportation committee?
No.
Because they didn't have quorum.
Okay.
There was no quorum, but this was the sentiment,
This
and
was the sentence.
there was a lack of quorum, so they couldn't.
Alright,
Can I-
well, so let's see what comes out of that, but let me say this, in terms of the Lincoln Road survey, and I just wanna make sure we're clear on this one. There is no position that has been taken on anything happening on Lincoln Road. So, there is no position, there is no, yeah, let's put a bike lane, there's no, let's make it one way, there is no, let's close the street off or anything like that, there is no position that has been taken. My understanding was this was something that, the survey was something that was approved earlier in the year.
I was gonna say.
It was approved to be done,
Right.
But it was not approved, there was no consensus that it would be done by one person and not vetted within the community.
Well, let me bring
It
some
was
clarity to
approved to be
this.
created.
This is true. It was in January. We did state that we wanted to do a survey, but we did not get the chance to get the dialogue or what we wish to look for or ask for, for the community.
Right. The survey never got created by the committee, nor was it ever seen by the committee, nor was it voted by the committee.
That's
The
correct.
only vote that was taken, and I asked it specifically, Fred, was the willingness to create one. That's what the vote was. Should we create one? And it was a we. Should we create one? But we did not create one. Because the committee did not create one.
This is true.
And I'm
We did not
holding that. So that survey, which was uncontrolled, it was an uncontrolled survey because you didn't know who it went out to. You don't know who responded. I mean, and clearly the voices of the neighborhood, because I didn't even get that survey. And I live right around the corner from there. So the committee and the people who came have businesses right there.
Right.
So they never got the survey.
Mm-hmm.
So how is it you disseminating the survey that people from Vermont could be responding to the survey, and yet the people on that block did not even see the survey and did not participate in it? So we're ensuring that this survey is not going to be validated as the voice of the community, and that there was a suggestion of more door-to-door knocking.
Okay. No, that's fair. All right. So we'll do some additional investigation. We'll see what's going on, where it's
Oh,
going.
really?
If there are any changes that need to be made. Well, listen, I'll leave that to
I
the
know,
committee to
but like,
discuss in terms of if there are any changes that need to be made or how it's gonna be handled. So we'll look for the exec will look for the recommendation to come from the committee for how we're proceeding with this.
So I
Very
just
good.
wanted to say, on the Ocean Avenue bike lane, this was, Fred, maybe you remember more about this. But I think that this was something that was approved many years ago and never, they never started work on it. And so now it came back to the committee. Prospect Park was really just talking about the design and the implementation. But there were suggestions to modify the proposal that I thought, that I hope which they said they would take back to DOT, and I hope there's still time for DOT to modify the plans, cause there were concerns. Like Teresa was suggesting, instead of having a two-way bike lane, have only a one-way bike lane, because there's this issue that, you can only go in one direction through the park, right? But then you don't, if you can go north, then why not have only a southbound bike lane?
Mm-hmm.
And, if you take away that extra 3 feet for that other bike lane, and you take away the protected 3-foot curb and just have cones or something, then maybe you get enough room for the truck, to have a full 13-foot lane. So I felt like that was a very good suggestion on her part, and I hope these are going to DOT from the committee notes.
Who's responsible for the project? Because I heard PPA and I heard DOT. Who's
No,
responsible?
the Prospect Park Alliance.
Is it PPA?
Yes.
I mean,
And they-
DOT will have to make the decision on the lane widths and the number of bike lanes, but Prospect Park Alliance will be dealing with like the trees and so on,
And-
that's their decision.
And they continue to tell us that they are past the design stage. This is not what they came for. They came to just let you know that they're now in the implementation stage. So I didn't
This is
see any wiggle room for them to redesign this. It seems like they've already had it. They claimed they had their discussions. They claimed they came in front of the community board. I don't remember
I don't
it,
remember
but
it.
they claimed
I
they
don't remember
did.
it.
I don't remember it. But they said they're done with all of that, and this is just to let you know what the changes are and when the timelines are going to begin, which is going to be in October. They're gonna start.
Right, and I understand that they said they came to the
What?
board,
Yes.
they came to the board before COVID.
Yeah, they claim they came to
That's a long
before
time.
in
Thank you.
18, and I don't
Yeah,
remember
because
that.
the thing is because all that is part of that whole Brooklyn Greenway thing or whatever else, that Brooklyn Greenway project. So that was always supposed to be there. But to the point, that's a long time
Yes,
that they've been talking about that.
yes.
I really can't recall any of those
I don't
conversations,
remember
but-
the presentation.
And I'll say this,
Can you find it in the notes?
DOT has not been always famous for coming to solicit feedback, it's more like, oh, we presented and we kept moving after that.
Yes, but do you have any record of them presenting? Do you have any record of them presenting in front of us?
Find out.
I mean,
Remember
I
that?
have a
No, I don't
guess
remember.
the
I
question
don't.
would think the only
The
way
question
that
would be,
you
do we
could,
have any like power to stop or,
Right.
you know, impede it? Because if they didn't actually have the meeting and they didn't get the approval of the community, what can we do about it?
Here's the thing, typically when it comes to, well, here's the problem. Typically when it comes to DOT, DOT specifically is one of those agencies where I'm not sure how much of their stuff they have to get approved by the board.
Exactly.
Typically, it's outreach to the board.
They have to
So,
do the outreach.
Yeah, the outreach part of it is what
So
it
if there's
is.
an obligated to do the outreach and then we discover that they didn't, and that the community isn't okay with some of the changes and stuff, because I don't know why you would wanna.
Well, here's the thing, I mean, well, we can find out, but part of the issue would always be this. If they did the outreach and the community hated it, thank you very
We
much,
hate
we
it.
appreciate the feedback.
Yeah.
Then we're still checking the box.
Yeah, exactly.
That
Just
might
a
be something
presentation,
that
I
we
mean,
can
what's the point?
Yes.
I mean, I think there's a safety concern if these lanes are too small. Is it possible to maybe call Keith Bray or something and ask him to, you know, take another look at this?
I mean, what's always helpful is if there are truly concerns where they are violating some kind of safety standard with that, that's where the board should actually just send a letter and say, listen, we've got, and Dante, maybe we should work on that part.
They are valid.
We have we've heard concerns regarding
Right.
width of the lanes, safety concerns with that and everything like that. What is the DOT doing to address?
Right.
Because part of what happens is, if it's
Right.
on record that you've been notified
Right.
that there's a problem,
Right.
that might be something different where it gives them pause and maybe they go back to the
Right.
drawing board. How much we can actually force them to stop, I'm not
It's
sure.
not going.
So a decision have you been writing to them?
Yeah, so Dante, let's talk about it, see if we can send a letter really quickly. Do you have it in the minutes in terms of some of the concerns that were brought up?
You should, right?
We come back.
We may have some, yes, and then he left, the secretary.
But I think Jay.
Oh, wait, Valerie took some notes.
Yeah, Valley and Jay also sent an email to you guys
Okay,
Yes, he did.
So we'll check-
describing
we'll check, we'll see what those-
concern for the width of the lanes.
we'll look at
Yes.
those and we'll document that in terms of these concerns have been raised by the community and.
Also, there was a motion that was passed for a letter to be sent from CB9 about the U-Haul.
Yes.
There was
That's
a
true.
motion placed on the floor and it was to be passed. That a letter should be sent to, the Attorney General, informing the Attorney General, that the U-Haul trucks have continuously been violating the law and not moving. Did that letter get created? Oh, do you have to have it, a motion in? No, I don't think so. You could
We
just
can
do
write
it.
it.
You
We
could
can
just
write
write
it
it.
up.
So there was a motion placed on the floor at the Transportation Committee directing that the board send a complaint to the Attorney General about the U-Haul business because they've been parking unlawfully everywhere. I mean, they park on hydrants, they park on crosswalks, they park on driveways, they park on residential streets, they park overnight on residential streets. They're everywhere. They're like little big cockroaches.
We asked for the
And
plaque
they-
to be removed as well, cause they
Yes.
had a plaque.
And so we're asking that the Attorney General, who's supposed to oversee businesses, to begin an investigation on this business. And they have been getting tickets, the NYPD has been giving tickets, so I've been seeing those tickets. They even got some cars towed, trucks towed during Juve, because they were lined up. The only cars out there lined up, everybody else was gone. So the tow trucks came and towed them away, but now they got 5 new trucks. So it doesn't really matter, they keep getting refurbished. So we're asking that you send a letter. And it was also agreed that I would submit to you the 311 complaints that I had and a note of what I've done as far as all of the, I now have 72 311 complaints.
Oh, for this?
Yes, I mean, you know, everybody says, call me one
I think it was
line.
mentioned
I've
that
been
that is
calling.
an outstanding issue with the quality of life
I was
team,
gonna
so,
say, But I
Dante-
have talked to them and I've been asking for them to do towing and they have not, they refused.
Alright, let's do this first, so Dante, because I understand it's an open, so let's talk with NYPD. and let's check and see, we'll see what's going on with that one, so I guess that'd be the next step, so we'll take that recommendation, and we'll see what's going on with the next step.
Oh, but you're going to write the letter to the Attorney General, correct? Cause that's what the motion on the floor was, from the committee.
Yes, it was.
It was a request from the committee.
If we can table that, just because I wanna better understand, cause I know that there's some work that's being done. So let's see what's going on and let's see what we can do to resolve. And if it comes down to a letter to the AG, it is what it is.
So how much time are we giving for that? Because this has been going on now for 9 months, this is ridiculous. How much time we're gonna get for you to figure this out? Let's
Well,
put a time frame on.
well, let me talk with Dante offline, we'll figure out, we'll contact 71st Street, cause we gotta get in touch
I know,
with
but
them.
what time frame are we talking about before you go ahead and move on the recommendations of the committee?
This, can I ask you something?
Excuse me, Suki, I'm asking this specific
It will
question.
be, well, I'm gonna talk to Dante, well, here's the thing. I know we're gonna do something before the next month, I'm not sure when a letter's gonna go off. It depends on what the conversations are that are had. If there's a way to resolve this, I'd like to resolve this. If it has to go out, it has to go out. But I at least wanna have that opportunity to have a conversation.
So before the next transportation committee?
We'll have an update by that time.
Okay,
So this U-Haul lot, it consists of
It's
what,
not a lot.
warehouse?
It's not
a lot.
it's not a lot.
It's a building.
No,
it's
it's
not
not.
a
No,
building.
it's a
It's a
street,
street.
so long
It's
they
a
already
street, they're
put
parking
You
on
hold
the
street.
street, on the
They
public
own-
street.
I understand that, but do they own a building?
No,
No.
No, there's no building.
there's
So
no
they're-
parking lot, there's
so-
no garage, there's nothing.
So they don't actually own a physical
No.
No,
Not-
They
It's
have
different.
they have a
It's not
space
there.
inside of
They
that
have a little cubicle
commons,
inside,
whatever it's called.
they have a little cubicle inside where they have a phone,
Yeah.
So,
and people call them, but that's it.
so it's just an office.
Oh,
It's a cubicle.
Office.
where
so
is
it's
the
like
office?
Where's
so
it?
you
And
know how
in
U-Haul
that,
works, right? Like
Yes.
they just have the
The
phone there just to
building
call it a
on-
location,
what is it
but
called?
basically all of the
I mean,
vehicles are
Flatbush
reserved.
Avenue.
There might be
Yeah.
also a
He's right. In
violation
other
of
words,
zoning.
The where the broken clock
The
is?
back part?
The front.
We work
They
as a
can get
collective.
to the
Yes,
lot.
yes.
Where,
So just a
The
parking.
commons,
Yeah, yeah.
the commons
Okay,
building.
alright, just, we
They
wanna
have
make
little-
sure
you know they have
we need to
little
bring it back in, cause we have to,
yeah.
we wanna
Okay.
continue with that.
In the Brooklyn
But, so in
Commons.
terms
In
of
the
the action
Brooklyn
items, so
Commons.
Madam Secretary, so
So
I'm gonna
there is
speak.
no parking lot
Right,
at all,
okay,
no
well-
garage or anything.
Okay, we're gonna clarify this, the
All
district
right.
manager and I'm gonna speak to this, we're gonna chase it down, we'll see what we can do to resolve. Alright, so just
Motion
note,
is that- that's what you see.
yeah, so just note that the motion was taken, the district manager and I will speak to it and we'll report back to the committee in terms of what the next steps are.
Yeah, we were asking, I had asked the head that he claimed it would take a few days to get, tow trucks to come and tow them. But then I talked to a lesser person and they said, oh, well, it takes a while and sometimes they don't like to do it. But come on, guys, I mean, how often do we have to do it? I have to have 73 301s?
I don't know.
I don't understand.
Here's the thing, I don't know where it is in terms of, the only thing I can say is that I know that sometimes there are difficulty with getting tow trucks because they have what they call the rotational tow program. And there's some intricacies that go into that in terms of who gets the call, if they can take them,
Yeah,
I'm
but how
not
many
sure.
301s do they have to have? They have to have 100?
It's not about how many 311s, I'm not sure if there's a technical aspect that we don't know about. That's why we wanna have the conversation in terms of what's going on.
Okay, well,
Okay, so
and don't worry, I'll be at the
consensus.
precinct council meeting on Thursday.
You might wanna also try DOB, because I would think they're in violation of zoning laws if they're like a moving business that doesn't have commercial premises that has a required number of parking spaces.
I mean, there are a number of open questions, the thing is, I just don't have any answers.
Yeah.
That's part of the reason why I wanna make sure we have that
Yeah.
conversation.
I mean, cause they're just causing havoc everywhere.
Alright, so for transportation, other than that, there were no other open action items, correct?
That's correct.
Okay,
Alright.
alright then, are there any other chairs that I did not get a
Can
report
I
from?
just say, it also blocks the bus,
Yeah.
Yeah, they put bus stops,
yes.
hydrants, crosswalks, residential blocks, overnight parking. It's like a free fall over there. It's ridiculous, and I have documentation, cause you know me.
No, absolutely, whatever you do have, if you haven't
I will
sent
send it to you.
Yes, perfect. Okay, alright then, okay, so Dante, administrative check-in, I'll try and do a quick chairman check-in as well, and we'll set the agenda.
Alright, let me go through this. So, mosquito spraying is taking effect across the borough. It was happening mostly in CB2, CB3, upper portions of the borough. We haven't received any notice, but if we do, we'll be cognizant and make sure that we send it out to everyone. I assume if they're already starting it in Upper Brooklyn, they're gonna be working their way down. It's been mentioned multiple times, Q teams have rolled out across the borough. Just as you speak to people, let them know that NCOs no longer exist. So if someone's saying, I called the NCO, I called the NCO, that's not a real thing.
NCO, can you tell me what that means?
Neighborhood Coordinating Officer. They no longer exist at the precinct at all. So Q teams will be taking over those responsibilities.
And what's the name of those teams?
Quality of life teams,
Thank
Q
you,
teams.
thank you.
There have been confirmed cases of measles in Manhattan. We will continue to monitor that as the weather gets a little bit cooler. If it becomes a real issue, we might have to adjust our meeting space to accommodate. Bless you. The Brooklyn,
Accommodate the space in what way?
just so folks can socially distance because people don't want to sit next to people who are sick.
Okay.
The Brooklyn bus redesign, the MTA plans to push that, the proposed final plan this coming fall. Once we get any meeting information, hearing information, if they do it that way, about that, we will blast it out a lot. I'm gonna send it right to your committee so we can kind of do that, but that's gonna be coming online. We actually condensed the Brooklyn bus redesign because it was large, so if you go onto the CB9 website, the routes that are in CB9, you can see the change and what they plan to do with that, the proposed changes. I'll do that in the administrative part. A lot of this is administrative. Board members, they have swearing in on the 18th. So you all should have received an email directly from Borough Hall. Board members also have a fall community board SLA workshop that's coming up on the 30th. We were planning to do a meet and greet on the 30th. So we're gonna switch that date. So we're gonna figure that out. So we're working on a meet and greet. I know that both committees had mentioned that that's something that they wanna do. We are going to plan that. It was gonna be on the 30th. It can't be on the 30th anymore. There were recent presentations mentioned. The Ocean Avenue perimeter bike lane, also the Kingston, Brooklyn, Winthrop bike lane that DOT is proposing. All of that information is up on our website, and we are going to start putting it in our e-blast. We've figured out how to do it, so if you saw the e-blast from this previous weekend, you should have saw that information in there. We do have a new e-blast format, which looks like this. So essentially prior it was just flyers, but now it looks like this. So you can pick what you want, click it, and then all the information is there. You don't have to thumb through to get to youth and education if it's not relevant for you. So we did that. We did create over the summer a new CB9 intake form. We get a lot of requests directly from the public that aren't necessarily like 311, so to speak. So we're trying to monitor all of that. That intake form is on our website. We'll be able to monitor all the stuff that's coming into the office, and we'll be able to clearly show what issues that we're receiving. If we start to see patterns on our end, we'll be sending that to the committees moving forward. It was brought to my attention by a constituent who called at Mark and Jason's playground. There are individuals leaving trash, loitering. If you see this, please let me know. We'll reach out to the Parks Department to put that on their radar, but if this is an issue that multiple people are seeing, please have them reach out to the board office to let me know.
That seems like a Q team issue, especially the loitering part of it.
Another kind of project that the SYP interns took on over the summer, which I want to kind of build upon, is derelict bikes on some of the bike racks in the district. Mm-hmm. You'll see they don't have pedals, they don't have handles. Please, 311, take a photo, send it to us. I want to create like a large list so they can basically open up those spots for those bike racks. Not all will get removed. Apparently if it has pedals, they won't remove it. So yes, even if it doesn't have handlebars, if it has pedals, we'll remove it. So just still send it, and we'll work with sanitation to figure all that out. Committee chairs, if you haven't submitted your minutes, please submit your minutes. I will send all the committee chairs the budget request form if you haven't received it already. That was made mentioned earlier, so I'll make sure to send that out to you if you haven't received it. I think this is a win. The Franklin Avenue Medgar Evers College station is going to be ADA compliant. So the MTA did make that announcement, which I want to congratulate the Transportation Committee on advocating for that here at the board. And I was also able to advocate for it as a member of the New York City Transit Riders Council. And I was able to use the board's resolution to basically support that effort. So thank you for that. And then the last thing from me is, as you know, we had some change in our team. Khalid Jamaat, who used to be on our team, is no longer with us. And so now, we have went through some interviews, and we finalized that hiring process. And I would like to finally introduce Allison Henry, who is our new CB9 Community Associate. So she's a part of our team now. Officially, first day was today.
Oh, nice. Wow, long day. Well,
Yeah.
well accustomed. Let's get into the swing.
A long day. Oh, and the one thing I forgot to mention that up here. The B48, that bus stop, please let me know if it has not been reactivated at Franklin and Montgomery, if anyone lives over there. I'd already made a couple requests to the MTA
Yes.
to have that reactivated.
Okay.
It's deactivated because of the construction, but as soon as that needs to come online. And
Okay,
it's already,
please, 'cause I
yeah,
was
Beverly
wondering
had
when.
reached out and, yeah. So that's supposed to come online actually by the end of this month, so if that doesn't happen.
Oh, so that construction is finished?
They said it was supposed to be finished, and that bus stop is supposed to
Franklin, Montgomery.
be activated once that construction is done. And they said that would be by the end of this month, so
Okay.
let me know if you're over there.
Yeah,
it's not in
I live
October.
right there, so I can let you know.
Perfect. That's it.
Can we talk about the district needs, statement? How and when is that going out?
Yeah, so we'll be doing that in October for sure. I'll be looking at the dates. The October schedule is ridiculous because of the holidays. So it will be in the later portion. So I'll be sending out some notes to the committee chairs to ask their committees to start thinking about items, expense or capital, whatever they're interested in, on what they want to put into that. We'll do a public hearing. We'll figure out the date. But yeah, we'll do that shortly.
Can we also talk about how the survey goes out to
Mhm.
members of the public? Because
Yeah.
like there were years when kind of like land use sort of didn't show up, it just like, you know what I mean? And it's not, and I can understand it because like I was telling my committee, it's something that's not as tangible for a lot of people. But I think, like we could talk about how we wanna, put that out to the public.
Understood.
Okay, any other questions for the district manager?
No.
Okay, hearing none, thank you very much for your report. Okay, all right, I'm gonna try and give a very, very quick chairman's report. Okay, first, I wanna start with the obvious. I think I've heard a number of people, talking about issues with attendance already, right off the bat. Some of it I understand because the schedules between September to December are always just crazy. Because of all the holiday observances between September and October, we run into the Thanksgiving holiday in November, and the same thing when we come into Christmas and Hanukkah in December, pushes all those meeting dates up. And I know people usually have this thing where it's like, oh, listen, I know the second Wednesday or whatever it is, we meet your committee schedule. But we need to really press the word where it's like, listen, it is what it is, this is part of the board service. It'll get regular after the new year, but for now, we need to really press the point that, we need people to show up. So please make sure you've noted, if there's anybody who's been absent, and let's start that tone now, where it's like, let the district office know who wasn't in attendance, so that way we can send notifications reminding people about it's an obligation. We understand life happens, and I'm always one of those people to say we understand that aspect of it, but we also understand that we have a responsibility to the district to make sure we're handling the business, that the matters that need to be heard are heard, that the appropriate votes are taken, and we're moving the business as needs to be done. So, but again, to the chairs, just a reminder, just to make sure that you're communicating with your committees, reminding them what dates are, especially for October, November, and December, because they will be moving. A lot of the date deadlines will be tight, but just reminding them that they need to come.
So you
If-
have a schedule already?
The schedule, everything is scheduled. All
It's
the,
up online.
Could you share?
Mhm.
It's all right now.
Everything's on the,
Check
if
my
you go,
stuff for April.
if you go to the Community Board 9 website, all the dates for all the committees
Is
are
it
on.
possible that you can have a flyer for the community as well on Wednesday? At the general
Right,
board
well,
meeting,
well-
that way you're informing
Well,
everyone?
let me do this, let me complete the report first, and then we can take the questions after that. So yeah, just take notes. But yeah, but just a reminder to the chairs and to the, to all the committee that, yeah, we need to press the point, understanding, and I absolutely, understand that. And we extend that to everybody, life happens, every once in a while you can't, there might be a family function or occasion. But if it's getting to the point where people just are not making it and you cannot have quorum, let's have that conversation in terms of maybe if we lighten the load a little bit, then we can move forward and just make sure you're able to do what you need to do. Discussed it very briefly before about the parade and public safety, but that's an extended conversation. We wanna make sure with the board, that the board is considered a stakeholder in all of these things. We are not the people that you decide to let us know when you're finished. We are the people that you consult in advance. Because we hear all the complaints, the district office gets all the 311 calls, people come to your committee meetings talking about what pain points are. So it makes no sense that we have this intimate knowledge of what's going on in the district, and we're not communicating that, but we're suffering through chronic issues year after year after year. So we're definitely pushing that, and we're trying to make sure that we get to the right people with that. With regards to training, so one of the things we wanna make sure is that, sometimes the issues that we discuss are really esoteric. We don't know what we don't know, or it's like they get complicated. Land use, it's a lesson every year, I gotta learn that all over again. LPC, I'm glad that you're starting to have that conversation about what the requirements are. I think it's important for us to understand it as a board. In the Public Safety Committee, we're also doing similar in terms of, one of the trainings that we're doing is, actually, Borough Hall's already offering it to do SLA training.
Next week.
So, if people, our members are able to go, it
What
helps
is
us,
SLA?
state liquor authority.
Oh, yeah, I saw that.
Those are liquor licenses, so there are definitely some, regulations that we need to make sure we're acquainted with regards to the 500-foot rule, the 200-foot rule, and those will become much clearer after you do the training in terms of understanding where things can go.
Is that also for hibiscus, the weed?
The cannabis.
Thank you.
Separate.
That's a hibiscus.
I'm not very
But it's got that.
No, this is specific to SLA, to the.
So there's none for,
There is the cannabis training too.
There is a separate, somebody else is doing the cannabis training, I
You
believe.
see that one?
That
Yes.
was Brooklyn Chamber of Commerce.
Yes.
It's in the email, check it.
Yeah.
It came recent.
You're right.
it's already
With
happening?
Jonathan.
No,
Jonathan
not yet.
Venerable. No,
Okay.
that's
Hasn't happened.
It's
No.
coming up,
Yeah.
well, we can confirm it, we can confirm that and make sure that a separate
Yeah.
post goes out. But the idea being, when these trainings come up, we wanna make sure we're availing ourselves of them. Because it makes the conversations a lot easier for us to have, because we're all on the same page in terms of understanding what the requirements are, what we can do and what we can't do, or what applicants can do and what they can't do. So, and we're looking for other opportunities in terms of being able to do that as well. So as they come out, the district office has been great in terms of sending those out. Please make sure you avail yourselves. One of the things we've been asking people to do as well is whatever they can, if they can these trainings. So that way, if there's Zoom calls or WebExes, if they can record those, so that way we can add them to a library. So that way, members who aren't able to make them can still see them and hopefully get the benefit from that.
Are they Zoom?
I'm sorry?
Yeah.
Are they Zoom?
Yes.
Depends on who's giving them. Sometimes they're Zoom, sometimes they're WebEx.
Yeah.
But we don't always control who's doing them. The ones that we do, one of the things we're trying to do is record them. But if it's other entities that are doing it, we're asking, can you record those so that way we can get copies later on? So we'll see.
I
how-
usually ask when they go.
So, mentioned it very quickly before in terms of education and library, so, that's one of those experiments that we've been doing for a little while, just to see how it works, because those are two committees that always just had a lot of synergy always. In terms of one of the things that I wanna work on this year is how do we get more efficient, how do we get leaner, how do we be more effective? I think that at this time, we've probably done enough where we see that the committee works and really those two subject areas probably work better as one committee. So to the point, I'll have a full conversation with the chair, and we'll have that conversation with the committee as well in terms of what that should look like. When we combine it, if there's a new name, do they have a name that's like, 4 lines long? what the specific charge should be, if there's any areas we should be including as part of that. But that'll go through that conversation, that'll be a presentation that goes before the board as a bylaws amendment that we can discuss. And conversely, if there are other areas that we should be discussing that we're not. Because what we'll do is that brings us down from 10 formal committees to 9, which is good. But then maybe perhaps we discuss, is there some other area that we wanna do as well? All conversations we can, that are open, fair game for the board to have. I wanna thank all those members who showed up for the Learn About Your Community, board, session that we had. So I think we saw a number of new members who came. It was good to have that conversation, that dialogue. We wanna continue having those kinds of opportunities as well, so that way people, I know it's difficult to learn about the board or even do things sometimes just in the heat of a committee meeting or a board meeting. So we wanna have those opportunities for members to learn, ask questions, and provide resources as we can as well. Meet and greet, the district manager already spoke about that. Definitely something, a priority we wanna do. I know we haven't done it in a couple of years. I wanna say the couple times that we have had it, it's just good, just to meet people on a not business conversation.
Are you gonna
just
have
to-
snacks?
Yeah.
I'm serious.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay.
working on the details of that, but yeah, I would expect.
Last time we had good.
I would expect, district manager said he's got us.
Okay.
But, let me see,
Oh, the,
He said I did.
Dante, oh,
Yeah,
that, what
well,
you, I'm sorry.
yeah, a couple more things and then
Sorry,
we'll jump into it. So let's try this, and I think, one, I also wanna reiterate in terms of the committees, please make sure, whatever actions you're doing, make sure they are solidified by votes. Because the vote means the entire committee is behind it, that means the committee is pushing it, as opposed to, it's not the chair's dream in terms of this is where I want us to go and this is what I'm gonna make us do. So make sure everybody's clear on it, as part of your votes, especially with activities or events, make sure you've identified what the things are you want to accomplish. Because one, it makes sure that your committee is clear on what we're doing here. And then again, when it comes to the executive committee, when it goes before the board, we're all clear in terms of what you're trying to do, and we're able to give constructive input wherever we can with those things. So please make sure that board votes. I'm happy, it was interesting that it came up with regards to measles and that outbreak. One of the things that when I became chair, right after that, we went right into COVID. And one of the things that I said was that we should never say that once this is over, we're going right back to the way we used to be. We're a 21st century office, we're a 21st century board, we should be having 21st century solutions in terms of the way we do things, which should include hybrid options. And there might be some things that are not in our control, but we wanna try and make it so that way we are able to meet, we are able to be effective. In December, when everybody's hawking and sneezing, we don't have to be all up on each other to see if there are ways to do that. Part of that is that we're gonna have to have a dialogue perhaps in terms of the question of hybrid, virtual meetings is going to come up. And I think for the next budget cycle, it expires next year. So I think this is the time where we wanna have a conversation in terms of if we're going to do virtual, if we're gonna allow teleconferencing, what should it look like and what's the best ways to do this? To make sure that people can be safe, you don't have to have people, at 9 o'clock on, in December or January, in the
Weather.
cold, if there are weather events, we can still be able to pivot and still get the work done without forcing people to make decisions about, okay, well, how many absences do I have on the record? So that'll be a conversation we wanna do. As I talk about training, one of the reasons why I also wanna really emphasize that as well is because we are going to start, we're in 2025, term limits are not that far away. In terms of we are gonna start seeing members of the board who are going to be term limited. So we
There's
want.
only 3 board members who should be terminated, you, Suki, and one other person. Everybody else is new to the
Bishop
board.
Gonzalez, I believe, she's probably the most tenured.
Yeah, that's it, only 3 people.
Right, no, but with that being said, we wanna make sure that there's an institutional memory. So in other words, all the conversations that happened when I was here, or when Bishop was here, shouldn't disappear and, all of a sudden, the board is starting from square one.
That's what we're doing.
What's the term limit? Is there a term limit now?
Yeah,
Ten
What is
years.
everyone is limited to 4 terms,
4 terms.
to 4 two-year
It's 8
terms,
years.
8 years, correct.
Oh,
So,
okay.
right, so
So yours is coming up, isn't it, Jared?
I believe I have one more term after this.
One more term.
I
Now, what about you, Suki?
The same, Fred and I were on at the same time, and
No,
that's
Fred was
actually-
here way before you.
It's actually a bunch of executive committee members,
No,
No,
no.
Like Francesca, isn't she like?
That's the only
main-
person, and there's only 3 of you.
It'll be Bishop Gonzalez in terms of tenure. Bishop Gonzalez is our most senior member. I come in there way after her, but I'm after her.
Okay,
And then there's Francesca, and then there's Suki.
Yeah, you're probably in that same zone as well.
That's
yeah.
it. She came in later. I was here.
But all to say, it's important for us as a board. I think we've done a lot of work in terms of setting a lot of infrastructure, which is great. But we want to build institutional memory. We want to build the bench.
They shouldn't have removed
Because
so many people.
The one thing that's going to happen is, I mean, I don't think there's too many people here who remember Jake. Jake was chair of the board for 35 years.
Yes, I remember.
Exactly. It was definitely never my intent to say I'm going to hang on his chair forever. But part of that means is that as a board, we should be developing that giving people the resources so that they take leadership.
But people need to learn Robert's Rules of Order because most of the chairs do not know Robert's
And
Rules of Order.
but that speaks to, let me just finish that. But that speaks to the whole idea of why we want to make sure there's a stress on training, why there's a stress in terms of encouraging people to take leadership and give them the tools they need in terms of understanding how to run the board. And again, finding ways to keep that institutional memory. Because there are conversations we've had that are very important, very critical. There are values that we are building that we want to make sure get passed on that are part of the culture of this board. So as we go along, that's going to be some of the focus that I have as well. And I encourage everyone as well to please feel free to contribute and, to make those suggestions in terms of how do we improve that operation. If there are things you feel you don't have, or tools you don't have, or we don't have, please let me know so that way we can bring those to bear to make sure everybody gets trained up so that way we can be effective as a board. And also, just as a point of personal, professional development, I would like to see people grow from being here as well. So you know more about the district, you know more about how the city operates. You get into different areas and you learn about those as well. So I want this to be a board that works, but a board that learns, and a board that grows as we go along. Again, we're a 21st century board. The way we did things when I first started, we're not doing it anymore, and that's a good thing. And let's just figure out what the new direction's gonna be. Okay, all right, so I think that is enough for now. I think I'll try to add a few extra items for the board meeting, but I have no action items with respect to that. I will entertain questions.
Before you go to questions,
Mhm.
what you say, a board that learned was the other one?
Board that grows.
I don't know, I was
Just
off the
make sure
dome.
that's our mantra for this new
A
book.
board that.
I was off the dome.
There you
A
go.
board that works, a board that
Acapulco.
learns, a
And a
board
board
that
that
grows.
grows.
Good, that's our new mantra, that's our CB
That's our
nine.
new mantra.
Yeah,
Doing
for
it
this,
all- I'll do
for our new
Acapulco.
book, for our new book. A book.
Okay. All right, any other questions?
I don't have any question, but I do wanna say, like, I do feel as though we need to kind of figure out how to be more efficient with time.
Thank you for saying that.
Because we are always running late and
And-
it's not fair.
And thank you for saying that. And I wanted to kind of address that specifically, very quickly. It's funny because as you said, let me address that. I had it as a bullet point. We are going to be, and I want people to understand right now. Today, we let it go a little bit because we started a little bit late, and I also wanted to give it a little bit easier tone just because we're getting back into a new year. But absolutely, we have heard the cries of the people, and you're right, we don't need to do the 3-hour meetings all the time. Sometimes there are conversations that, need to have time, not all of them. Which means that there's gonna be a discipline that we're going to be looking to instill. We've started some of these things from last year in terms of, and I want us to be more conscious of time, myself included, where there will be time limits on things as we do things. As a matter of fact, when we do the agenda, we're gonna have certain times to do things. So we're gonna ask people strictly, adhere to those time frames. Part of what we always ask for, and this is the reason why the district manager says to get the notes in, the minutes in, because if we can get them out early enough, people can read them before they get there. Because part of the problem we have is that people are doing the homework when they get there.
Right.
And that's part of what slows down the meeting. We have questions that if people are doing doing the work in advance, we can really move forward, and we're asking questions that really just, if you don't, for clarification, but not because you're trying to learn the entire thing on the spot.
Yeah, but like, so if they're gonna use the timer and we're gonna say it, then we need to use it, cause like we're already like a half
Right.
hour over.
No,
So
yeah.
it's,
No, today-
all of that stuff, we just have that, we just need to.
Be
have
the
a bigger
timekeeper.
focus on
And we're
that.
going to do that.
I'll be the timekeeper.
I think that you really need, yes, we sit here and they're gonna, I think that you really need to speak to these committee chairpersons. There's no sense in you bringing us a written agenda, but yet still you come here and sit down and talk all about it, encourage people to ask questions, and that's it. And there are certain people on this board, or in this board, who does that. And yes, it is okay that we should be, bring up to date what is happening, but if you send in your minutes or your report of your meeting, and we all read them, I read them before I get here, right? Well, I'm secondary, right? I read them before I get here, a lot, so when I come and I'm like, oh, why is this person telling me what I just read? I'm that sort of person, and so there have to be other people like me.
And-
So you speak to your committee, and we all grown up, and we all know, so you speak to your people. If you bring a report, we read it, unless there's really a question, get your question small so that we go. Don't come and give your verbal report when we already got one.
And just a couple of tools that, just to preview, for example, one of the things we're going to ask for is, for chairs in particular, when we come to meetings, an executive summary. So in other words, I know the meeting, the minutes might be 3, 4, 5 pages, and that's fine. An executive summary is just a page,
Okay,
or a half, even better.
that's for me.
Just breaking down, well, for everybody, no. An executive summary, just in terms of what are the main points that we need to know, because what that'll do is it'll draw people's attention to what they need to know after that in a document. Additionally, when it comes to, we're going to be more strictly enforcing rules when it comes to Robert's rules. When we acknowledge people to speak, you gotta cut it off. You got a minute and a half, 2 minutes, that's it. And if we're engaged in a debate, you have 2 opportunities to speak. After 2 opportunities, you have to have made your point and we close business. So you will see, and I will ask for the first round, who wants to speak? You will be recognized, there is a speakers list. That closes. Is there anybody else who wishes to speak? If you wanna go for a second time, we will allow that second time for 2 minutes, but you only get 4. You only get 4 on the question. After that, we gotta move. All right? So again, and I want people to understand that this is not me trying to rush or not me trying to cut off a debate, but the point of parliamentary procedure is that the debate does have to end, because you gotta move the agenda and the business has to get done. Okay? And and I tell you this as chairs and as officers, because I want you to push that down as well, in terms of people understanding that we wanna be respectful of time as well. We wanna make sure the business gets done, but we wanna be respectful of time, we wanna stay focused. Okay? All right, but thank you very much for bringing up that point, I did forget that, I had that as well. Okay, are there any other questions? Okay, seeing none, we are now going to go on to the agenda. All right. So, we are going to do,
Oh, the one thing is not a question, but there's still that whole era that when I go to look at the calendar, it's still jumbled up. Like,
Yeah,
so
send
that-
me, cause
So is that
See,
gonna,
it's
cause that has not been fixed, and I was trying to look at the dates, and I'm like,
Oh,
it's
yeah,
hard to
yeah,
read,
yeah.
What's what, because it
Because they're all on top of you.
overlaps
Yeah,
on
yeah,
each
right,
need
on
a
top of each other.
screenshot so I can send it
Okay.
right to OTI,
Yeah,
cause
that's,
That's
Yeah.
on
And,
calendar.
Yeah,
are we
the
gonna
online
fix this
calendar, that's what
issue
it
with
looks
this
like.
camera?
well, it's working now,
But it
it's
hasn't
the
been
Wi-Fi
working.
that's the issue,
But it turns off.
The sound quality is also really poor. I have to turn the volume all the way up to hear what people are
it's
saying.
cause you need mics, so like
Right.
the only way that's gonna pick
Yeah.
up us more is to add, if you could buy an external mic that you could put, and you maybe wanna attach something that then could be,
In the center of the table.
yeah, here,
Yeah.
It can
and
be-
then it could be better sound, because it's never gonna get good
It could be a
sound just
remote
going to
mic
that.
here,
No, that's
so you
good.
wouldn't
Yeah,
have a.
exactly.
well, listen,
So
just cause
hopefully-
I,
You can buy that, and
no,
it's not
this,
that expensive.
this feedback is good, and what I would ask is for everybody to do is if, those kinds of suggestions, so if there's issues with the calendars, technical issues that you've been experiencing, so if you're getting emails, not getting emails,
Good night.
Good night,
Good night,
everybody.
if there's any issues in terms of quality of the recordings, please let the district office know, cause we can have those separate conversations. If there's tech improvements we need to make, we can have that conversation. Alright, let's go right back into it, so, we're gonna have roll call, call to order. We're going to have, rules of conduct. After which we are going to go into presentations. Do we have any presentations?
I'll have to check and see, I don't know off the top of my head.
Okay, so we're going to go into applications then. So we have the land, LPC application.
That's all right.
Then we have 3 SLA applications.
The LPC, did you say that?
Yes,
Okay.
LPC application first, 3 SLA.
Business, no.
We're going to go into
I know.
public commentary.
Public comment.
Then we are going to go into, acknowledgements.
Business session.
Yep, then we go into business session. Have roll call. We'll have approval of minutes. Actually, let's go back up.
Okay.
Approval of agenda. Oh, we don't have a quorum, we can't approve the agenda.
Hold on.
So we'll have to
So we
approve the
gotta
agenda.
do that
Yes.
before presentations, or
Hmm?
before
After roll
presentation,
call,
right?
right after
I got-
roll call.
Oh, after roll call, okay.
After roll call. Yeah, for the public session, we don't need a quorum
Okay,
for that.
cool. All right.
For the business session, we do.
Mhm.
So approval of agenda. After which we will have approval of the minutes.
Right. After minutes, can you do the vote?
After which we will have, yes, committee reports.
This is the year after that? The admin report?
Yeah. Committee reports, we will have the district manager report. We'll have treasurer's report,
Oh, treasurer's before you?
Mhm.
Okay.
We'll have the treasurer's report. After that, we will have the chair's report. After which we will have, I'm sorry,
Voting item.
yes, voting session.
Four voting items. One, two,
Correct.
four.
So we have the 4 voting items.
Have any other business, new business?
LBC, SLAs. Do we have any old business? We didn't have anything on the table, right?
I don't think so. Put it there just in case we can, I could check.
Unfinished, okay, so put down, yeah, unfinished business.
New business?
New business. And I would wanna remind everyone as well, for new business, not the time to say we're gonna have a conversation or discussion. If there's something we need to discuss, let's put it on the agenda, we'll put it on, put it for time. New business is for any items that are either really urgent last minute, we didn't get a chance to talk about it, we have to get it done. Or if there's something that we wanna see on an agenda or refer to a committee.
Adjournment.
Okay, so new business and adjourn.
Call for order, presentations, LPC, SLAs, public commentary, definition of business, open roll call, approval of agenda minutes, committee reports, the end report, treasury report, chair report, voting session, unfinished business, new business, adjournment.
Okay, so
Let's
now
go.
let's just talk about time limits. LPC application, we said.
There's
Jenna
only
said-
one.
But do we have to do that though?
No, it's 3, isn't there?
Something we
Yeah,
have
3
to
minutes.
do
There are
before
3 of
She
them.
said 3.
3
You
minutes.
She said 3 minutes on
You
that.
know what I'm saying?
So they're 3 minutes each?
I wanna stay as long as we can.
I don't
No,
know.
no, we're gonna get this done real quick.
I mean,
Once we do this, we're
they're
not
new.
even gonna vote, this is just a matter of just having this done.
Alright, I mean, there are two new and one renewal, right?
Yeah, 3 minutes for LPC applications,
Yeah,
so 3 minutes per SLA application,
okay, so that's 9.
per SLA, yeah, okay, public commentary is 30 minutes.
There- God knows
But it's
that.
never 30 minutes.
That's never, right.
For public commentary?
Yeah, we don't know
No,
what
it's-
it's 30.
Once in a while, when there's
Once
something
in a while,
controversial.
like, When is
Oh,
the election?
well, no, it's booked for 30. It's booked for 30.
Alright.
It's
And it
booked
needs
for
to
30.
stay 30,
So what?
and it needs to be 30.
No, it will never be more than that.
That
Hopefully,
would
we've got
never
some
be more
time.
than that.
So it's
That's-
depending on how many people we have.
Acknowledgement.
Acknowledgements.
That's another thing.
It's in the binder.
Acknowledgements about 30, I think.
Yeah, alright.
Flip a 30, and we'll probably get time back off the
Good,
public.
right. So we go business session, that's no minute.
Business session, roll
is
call,
fine.
approval of agenda, approval of minutes, committee reports is fine.
Approval is fine.
DM, how much time you need, Dante?
Minute.
No minute for
Oh,
committee
good for
reports
you,
because they should probably
Dante.
be
A minute. I
Well,
love
I'm
it.
running. I'm a,
No minutes for
I'm
committee
beyond it.
reports, they
Trust
should
me.
all be something.
Alright, you know, you owe us all money every,
you watch.
alright.
So DM, you got 5 minutes, I think.
I said a
Let's
minute.
go 5.
A minute, he
I
said
said
1
1 minute.
minute, I'm gonna
You
keep
said
you
1 minute?
to
We'll
it.
give you 3.
What about 90
We'll budget you
seconds?
3, so if you,
In case somebody asks a question.
yeah. We'll budget you 3.
How much you got for committee
Treasurer's
report?
report, same thing. Listen, treasurer, DM, and chair's report, 3 minutes.
Yep.
No, you know what? No, let's do this. Let's do 5 minutes each.
Oh, because you want 5.
No, 3 minutes, 3 minutes for a report, 2 minutes for questions.
Okay, alright.
3 minutes for the report.
For the treasurer
the
report,
treasurer?
we don't need
What
that.
we asking her?
I don't know.
Can we have
You don't know what
snacks?
you'll be asking.
Yeah, oh. Good, so she need
So
4.
like I said, 2 minutes. No, so 5 minutes for each of those,
Alright.
okay?
Voting session should not be more than.
Voting session,
Should not be more than 10 minutes, whatever,
no, you know what? 5 minutes for each item.
15,
Say what?
20 minutes?
Yeah, 20 minutes.
Okay, cool, gotcha.
To vote?
Yeah, so a couple of minutes to discuss the item and then a couple of, you know,
Okay.
Yeah.
Unfinished business, 3,
what?
put 3 minutes for that.
No, don't even put any time for unfinished business.
No, because it might go someplace else.
Alright, 3 minutes. Then new business.
Then another 3, and then adjournment, 0, we gone home.
How many minutes have you accounted for that?
Adjournment?
No, for the whole thing, total. I
That's what
wanna
I'm
hear, I
talking
wanna hear your
Yes.
predictions.
3, 6,
What is it
26,
supposed to be?
36, 46, 56.
Fred, how much minutes, how
1
much time
hour,
is it supposed to be for
56,
the entire
half an hour.
meeting?
It's
2 hours.
actually
Schedule.
2 hours, about 2 hours and 15 minutes.
2 hours and
So
15.
you gotta knock off 15 minutes, right? Cause it's 2 hours.
Who's it?
Because
If
he
you
said
start
it's
at
supposed to,
7.
no, he said if it's supposed to be 2 hours,
He said that?
try to, yeah, you just said it,
It's supposed to be?
yeah,
The meeting?
yeah.
Yeah, we should be around that 2 hours.
It should be around.
So
that.
if it's 2
But-
hours,
but
then if you're planning it out and you're putting the minutes, then you should need to time it for 2 hours, not 2 hours and 15.
But we've been doing that for a minute, and our meetings end at 9:29, 9:39, that's more than
Right, but
10
what
minutes.
I'm saying is we're saying we wanna stick to the time.
Mhm.
So we're
So,
saying we
look,
wanna stick to the time
I
and
got
it's
a
2
different
minutes.
idea that.
Then
Right.
you need to cut
Well,
down
well,
some minutes and a
if you
couple
come
Well,
of
in
here's the
sections.
thing,
people's
here's the thing,
work.
because this is our first meeting,
Doing it
because this is our
time.
first meeting, I'm gonna give the 15, let's see what the time runs. We're gonna see what the time runs and we'll have a
Fred,
better.
you know we always run over. If we
We'll-
don't start, if
No,
we
no,
then
don't
it
here's the
should
start.
be
thing.
2
We're
and a
gonna run
half.
over if we
I
have
do 2.5
conversations about running
hours.
over.
No,
I
but
would
what I'm
get in
saying
trouble.
is, what I'm saying is if we don't start trying to be disciplined from the beginning, it's
Understood.
gonna
Yes.
just
If you
continue.
know you
Understood.
can't spend the
No,
time
no,
going
there's
on the board.
discipline, and 2 hour 15 is discipline, but what I'm saying is I also wanna be realistic, or at least I don't wanna be so strict to it that we don't, you know, if there's anything we didn't foresee, or if there's a conversation that should happen. 2:15, we're in.
But aren't the securities kicking us out in the
Yeah,
2 hour mark?
9:30.
No. By 9:30, we need to be out, so we're good until 9:15.
And
And we
then
are
we
going
should
to try
start
to-
on time.
Yes.
And thank you very much for saying that part, and we are going to
Once
start
we
on
got
time.
them
Exactly, you should
Appreciate
start
it.
on time at
We are
7
starting on
o'clock.
time.
Cause most of the time you lose 15 minutes because you start at 7:20.
At 61. All right, so with
Right.
that, we have the agenda set.
Gotcha.
We are not able to vote as we do not have a quorum for this evening. So this will be, again, this will be approved at the general board meeting. All right, everyone, I wanna thank you for coming out this evening. If there are any questions or anything, please make sure to contact the district office, or leadership, take care of it. Allison, again, welcome aboard.
Yes,
Pleasure.
welcome.
We are now adjourning, time is now 9:42.
Could you please turn off that?
That's so good in that. I like in that.
Bye. How do I turn